Thank you, Baba. Thank you for being with us, and thank you everyone else for joining today. We'll be continuing with Baba's commentary on his commentary of the Ashtavakra Gita. We're on chapter 18. It's the longest chapter in this text. It's 100 verses, and it's dealing with peace. Baba, as usual, I'll read. I've kind of summarized or paraphrased a lot of these sentences today, so they're not exactly word for word, but it's the idea. So I'll read the text, and then Baba, whenever you'd like to comment, please do.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. All right. Verse 1, chapter 18. This chapter deals with the whole book, really, but this chapter really goes into a lot of detail about the nature of the self, the big self, the divine self, truth, and supreme peace that comes from realizing it. Okay, verse 1. Salutations to that whose nature is supreme bliss, peace, and self-effulgence, to the dawn of true knowledge, by which all delusion is dispelled like a dream. Baba, I like that word, effulgence. It means shine by its own nature, without requiring any external source.
Yeah, that's the greatness. That's why the ultimate truth has been recognized as divinity. Means it doesn't need anything for its existence, and for all its powers or energies or creativities, anything that it is able to show, all powerful, that is what recognized, and it doesn't need any other external help at all. And it is self-sufficient, self-peaceful, contented, totally, it doesn't need anything. So that is when, as long as you need something, you cannot be absolute. You are dependent on something. So when you don't need anything, you are the emperor. That's how my Guru Swamiji used to tell. Humans become poor by desires. If they are contented, they are like emperors. They don't kneel down. They don't need put their hand in front of anyone. It's okay, fine. So this is the self-glow. It is on its own. And that is the one which has given rise to all creation, whether it is dream or reality, appearance or whatever it is. Just now, if we are in the dream, we are looking into that, we are seeing that one. This amazing universe also is the glow, is the power, the energy of that ultimate truth only. So that's why salutations are offered. We offer salutations, we surrender.
Thank you, Baba. So I'll read your comments for verse 1. The ultimate truth itself is supreme peace. By nature, it does not need anything for its existence, is totally secure, and being absolute has no shortcomings. Only when one entity depends on another is there insecurity. The self is immortal because it itself is in itself and does not depend on anything for its existence, just like the mind doesn't depend on the objects that it's imagined for its existence. Even when all thoughts and visions disappear, the mind is always there in the form of pure consciousness. Once this knowledge is achieved, all ignorance of imaginations simply disappear like a dream. So, Baba, once this, it's like once you see something, you can't forget it. It's saying here that once you become aware of the self, that the ignorance of all imagination simply disappear like a dream. What does that mean?
One simple thing I would like to tell, attracting the attention. Like often I have told, when you enter the room, you get attracted to the wall, fans, tables, people, and so on and on. All the matter and objects that are there. You seldom get attracted to the space. If any intelligence, wise person is there, his attention goes to the space. Because space is the thing which is holding all matter, all objects, all universe, everything. It is the space is the ultimate truth. And space is the purest form, which is indestructible. Permanently it is always there. Whereas the rest of all the object is impermanent. It has only appearance value, not an existence value. Only the space has the existence value. Thus, you narrow it down to the ultimate truth slowly. So that's what the beauty is, your attention, how it goes. So for that purpose only the idea of meditation is to remove your attention from all the imaginations through which you would have created a big story, a big world, and so many characters in the form of thoughts and visions within your mind. If you just go on watching in between eyebrows, when you are watching and you don't think about it, you don't think you have created, you don't think there is anything existing, whether thoughts are there or not there, you don't even recognize whether it is good or bad, you know or you don't know anything, you just keep quiet. Then all the thoughts and visions will disappear actually. They will dissolve into the mind. And there is nothing, at that time, you will notice the consciousness of existence. That is the beauty. Then automatically your attention goes to that. Eventually you will realize consciousness of existence and your attention were not different at all. Your attention, you were imagining you to be a different entity, and thus you think that consciousness of existence to be different. Once you focus on that, you will realize you are that. So that is the beginning, gateway to go towards the ultimate truth.
So, Baba, for the yogi, his attention has gone to the self, and it's found fulfillment in that, so it stays there. Whereas the unenlightened person, their attention's drawn to all the objects of the world and to their thoughts and imaginations, and they're unaware of that.
Yeah, that for now, we don't try to call this universe as any dream or illusion or doesn't exist, because that cannot be proven immediately, because all of everybody is inside the dream and their consciousness has become a microspeck illusory imagined self. That's why his consciousness also has split and narrowed down onto a smaller potency. So it cannot handle this universe. It has to accept whatever happens in the universe. It can have wishes, but finally it has to accept when the things happen. But through practice of meditation, when the mind quietens, whenever it becomes, the more and more it quietens, it starts getting absorbed into its highest potency. That is the ultimate truth towards. When it goes to the highest consciousness, before that merger of Nirvikalp Samadhi, you get to see the disappearance of the universe also there. In that condition only, a universe can disappear. The moment if you come back to the body and body consciousness again, this will appear. But transformation would have happened for a yogi. The yogi has experienced what this is. So he will no more get illusioned by the appearance of the universe. He knows very well that actually it is the space which is the ultimate truth. That is the divinity. And that is awesome, hair-raising experience. Salutations, that's what they tell the great sages. Ashtavakra telling that one, salutations to that one which is absolute, which is self-sufficient.
Thank you, Baba. Okay, verse 2. Acquiring abundant sense objects of the world gives many forms of enjoyment, but only renouncing them all can one be actually happy. Comments?
Yeah, you see, you can read the comment few words and then we'll talk.
Okay. One might think that acquiring all kinds of worldly objects would give enjoyment. Instead, it's always stress and anxiousness. We have total peace only when we mentally renounce. Swamiji used to say, a person's poor by desires. If contentment's there, he's like an emperor. Contentment comes only through meditation and tapas. Real happiness comes only when you need nothing.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it is here. Through practice and self-realization, until the contentment doesn't come, everybody would think that our happiness is coming because I am going to own this object and I own this object. This is mine, like that. But before you owning that one, you will be anxious whether it will come to you or not. If it doesn't come, what happens? If it comes, what happens? Like this. And if at all it comes, then you should not lose it. What if it goes away? What if the death happens to our own physical body? We will lose everything. We will lose this palace. We will lose this house. We will lose all our wealth. When we die, the currency that we are dealing with will not be useful for us anywhere else, in any other world or whatever happens. So we keep wondering. That is the anxiousness is always there. And if at all we get some happiness, it is temporary though. That happiness technologically comes only when the mind stops onto that object, or with the idea that I have obtained and it is mine. With that imagination, mind stops even for a fraction of a moment, then that happiness comes. But we imagine the happiness has come only because of this object. That means now, even without the object, if the mind can become quiet, you can derive the same happiness, that which you think that you can become happy by becoming an emperor. Even without becoming an emperor also, if you can achieve the quietness of the mind, you can be same happy. Perhaps even an emperor will not have that happiness. That happiness you can have. This is the science and technology I am talking. Simply if the mind becomes quietened, then you see, you practice meditation, quieten your mind, and then see that blissfulness, that peace that descends. You wouldn't like anything like. When you go to sound sleep, you won't like to have anything else. You won't have any other desire at all. If allowed, you would like to be sleeping. You don't even want $1 million there at that time. That sleeping is so beautiful because it is so peaceful. There is no consciousness of the world at all. So then only you derive the best happiness. I have told, always when you are unconscious of the world only, you derive the best happiness. If your consciousness, it is tense. You forget, then you have peace. Even Ashtavakra talks, forgetfulness of the past or of the previous lives is the divine's grace. It's a boon. If everybody would have remembered their past lives, so many times we were born and so many relatives, so many reasons that we had to die. This thing happened, that trouble came, this person troubled me. And nobody would have had any peace. Even now in one life to manage emotions, nobody seems to have peace. among humanity. Only the one who has quietened the mind, a yogi, is the supremely peaceful at all times. Other than that, the ultimate truth itself is the supremely peaceful.
Thank you, Baba. Verse 3. How can one whose core is scorched by the sorrow of endless duties, like one burned by the sun's heat, be happy unless it is cooled by a continuous shower of the nectar of tranquility? And your comments, when the mind is quiet, only then is real peace enjoyed. As long as imagination is there, it keeps giving rise to dualities. When your mind is unconscious of this world, that quietness, in that quietness, the best happiness is experienced. The mind is not stopped with just one imagination. Even if you go on enjoying happiness, it doesn't stay for long. Soon anxiousness and stress will follow. In the pure tranquility of the mind, the real happiness of peace is experienced.
See, in this world, one is important because of the other. If you have experienced an unhappiness, then happiness in this world becomes so important and nice. Suppose if there was no unhappiness at all, only happiness, that wouldn't be possible though. But if it was there also, nobody would have understood the value of it. Nobody would have enjoyed anything. Because the mind starts working. It goes into duality. It cannot keep quiet. Many times I have told, early morning, if you have had a sound sleep and get up, your mind is fresh. You are so peaceful, serene and quiet, you are enjoying. Suddenly, unknown to you, your mind starts imagining. In the beginning, it imagines the pleasant things. Nobody wants unpleasantness. But as the day passes by, it jumps into pleasant, unpleasant, good and bad. Everything starts happening. So like that. That is how this world goes on. If happiness is there, definitely unhappiness will also come. If unhappiness is there, happiness will definitely come. So that is the nature of this universe. Universe is made like that only. If the villain is not there, hero will lose his significance. If there were no robberies, thieves or any such things, police would have lost their significance of their existence. Ignorance is there, peace is needed. That's why yogi's existence is significant. Otherwise it wouldn't have been. And when we lose peace in this world, we look for divinity, we look for some higher consciousness, we look for some superior being, supreme being. If we had all the time happiness by birth until the last breath of life, nobody would have bothered about God at all. Nobody would have bothered of owning anything, obtaining anything, if they all had happiness. They wouldn't have invaded other countries if they had happiness. So that is how these things goes on and on and on in this world. Illusion.
So there's some blessing in the fact that there's a little misery in life.
It is. That is when everybody looks for that peace. Peace. They struggle. They wonder. They are bewildered. They look for. To many it may take time if they don't take the right path. If they don't understand the right path, and if they don't get the right guidance, a right master, I mean. So they may keep trying. $100, $200, $500, $1,000. It's like auctioning something. Peace is being auctioned. Oh, how much you can give? It starts from $1,000. Yeah, 1,000. Another says, $1,100, peace for me. Another says, $1,500, peace for me. Like that, if auction would have happened if it was available like that. It is not available like that in a shop. You have to achieve within, you have to become peaceful. That is all. Simply, if you become peaceful, you have peace. It is you are not peaceful, that is why there is no peace for you. The person was holding the pillar or shouting, the pillar is not leaving me, the pillar is not leaving me. Another wise person came, you are holding the pillar, you just leave it. Pillar is not holding you. Why are you shouting like that? Then he left and he was happy. Oh God, I didn't know about this. I was holding the pillar. Like that, we are holding on to the objects of this world, of our own imaginations, and we are unhappy. Once we give up holding on to that one, that's what Ashtavakra says. In the mind, if we simply acceptance, when we have the acceptance, the mind becomes peaceful. If it happens, happens. If it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. It's okay. If it comes, it comes. People come, we will conduct Zoom. People don't come, it's okay. But people always come. More than 100 keep coming. There is a need for peace.
Baba, how would you define peace?
Quietness.
Quietness.
Serene quietness is the real peace. When the mind is quiet, then only settled, composed, at peace.
Desire.
Not about imagination, anything, not any desire, not while owning anything. They are all temporary, you see. And the mind is quiet and serene. If anybody has experienced, even for a moment, for a second, for 1 minute, half a minute also, the quietness, serenity, that is the real peace. That's what the self is. Self is that peaceful. When you reach the self-realization, that's why it is recommended. You get this peace, invaluable peace, that which you are looking for. You are struggling, you are banging your head, you are dancing, you are jumping, you are fighting for this peace only. You just become quiet and you have that peace. That is all here, you see. I am not teaching any weapon system. I am not teaching anything to earn money. I am not teaching any cheating business, nothing. I am all trying to teach is become quiet mentally.
So, Baba, it's desires that tend to break that silence. And
Yeah, it
imaginations.
doesn't allow the mind to remain in peace. The desires keep coming. Craving, that's what constant cravings of the mind is the basic reason for unhappiness.
But
Clings on.
aren't those desires looking for happiness and peace, though? Just can't
They
find
are
it?
happiness. Every desire is arising to looking for the happiness. That's why I tell, mind is looking for that happiness, that which it had enjoying in the self. That is why it doesn't stop with anything. You give it $10, it won't keep quiet, it wants $100. You give it 100, then it starts thinking, I need to save more money. Who knows, tomorrow market value may go up. It won't keep quiet like that. It will never get satisfied.
So nothing that you can experience in the world or own can ever satisfy the mind for very long. Even in the celestial world.
Nothing. It doesn't happen. That's why everybody is struggling.
All right. Verse 4. The universe is only a mere imagination, a state of consciousness. In reality, it's nothing. The inherent nature of the self, which exists, and that of the universe, which does not exist, does not change. I'll read comments. This universe is visibly impermanent. It exists only through a higher consciousness. All imagined objects and characters in the mind are simply a state of consciousness, and none exist in reality. Real existence, which has never appeared, has always been there and will never lose its nature. The unreal universe that has appeared will disappear. The nature of this universe doesn't change. The soul was always there. It never appeared. Hence, it's immortal, whereas this physical body is born and dies. The body also is not going to lose its impermanence.
Yeah, and that's what, because Ashtavakra is talking, that's why we have to discuss about this topic of, I have always tried to avoid telling this world as not existing or illusion also. I simply try to talk it as impermanent. Means first point, at least if you all understand it is impermanent, I am sure everybody will understand. Everything will go away. Our own body will go away. Earth will go away one day. Moon will go away. Sun will go away. Everything will disappear. But what is the permanent thing? So a certain thing which is impermanent itself, how can it give us a permanent happiness? The body itself is not permanent. How can it give us a permanent happiness? As long as it is there, it gives happiness. If we look for happiness with $100, as long as that $100 is there, it gives happiness. If we try to keep that $100 all the time, it's only a paper currency. Then also we lose happiness with that. Every day we take it out and look into $100, we are happy. Oh, I own this $100. Again we keep it back. After some time, we are tired of looking into that currency because nothing else is coming out of that. Only the paper we are seeing every day. It is all written for $100 and we will keep it back. That's all. We are unable to buy anything. We are unable to buy peace. If we buy something, we are afraid that $100 will go away. No, we should keep it with us. We should save it. Something like that. This world is also. We try to do so much and so much. But finally it goes. It goes. Then we don't have peace again. The peace is only when the mind is quietened. So for that we need to understand at least this world is impermanent. That's what I have told. Spirituality does not prohibit any way of life. You can own any property, no problem. You can do any business, you have any money, you need to sustain your physical body, you have food, you earn your livelihood, everything is fine. Simply what spirituality advises is try to practice that always you remain at peace. That's it. The rest you do. If you can own 2 cars, you own 2 cars. If you can own 3 cars, you own 3 cars. Who has said no? No problem. Simply, if you don't own 2 cars and only 1 car, no need to lose your peace and happiness. Be happy. That's your existence right. Many times some people come, their nature is that they cannot get along with anybody. But yet again they are emotional. They tell ki nobody understands me, nobody is friendly with me. I tell them ki, how many people can depend on you to be friendly? You are also feel offended very quickly and you don't want any friends. But yet again, how is? There are 2 options. If you want people, mingle with people, adjust and manage. If you are okay alone, then fine, don't mingle with people, forget about everybody. But in either of the case, there is no need to lose your peace. That is your existence right. Simply see that you are at peace, you are happy, then you do this. If doing this, if you are unhappy, then you are doing wrong. You do the other thing where you will be happy. Simple formula. Like that I advise. If you are happy, whatever you are doing, it's okay. I have no objection. If you are unhappy, tell me, sit down and watch quietly.
Baba, that ability to just allow life to happen, not constantly trying to direct it, the ability to accept what happens is a real boon. It's
Yoga.
easy for some people, very difficult for others.
Yeah, definitely. It is the final yoga.
I think the more you meditate, it does get easier to accept things as they come. You can still try to
Keeping the
change them,
mind aligned with the divinity, ultimate truth. You keep it quiet and aligned with the divine, ultimate truth. That's what it is.
So, Baba, what can we do to kind of align our desires with that ultimate truth, with trying to acquire that ultimate truth?
The more you can become quiet, you align with the ultimate truth, because that is the nature of the ultimate truth is quiet.
Mm.
Simple. So you have mentally, you are not quiet. That's why non-alignment has happened. So if you are aligned, need to be aligned with that, you become peaceful and the divine will take you into its fold.
Verse 5. The self, which is absolute, effortless, unchanging, purely serene, is neither far away or limited. It's ever present. Your comments. The self is nothing but the all-pervasive space itself. Thus, it is the absolute. This is experienced only in deep nirvikalpa samadhi, when there's not even a single iota of imagination in the mind. When it's all-pervasive, it's not at all far away nor limited, just as space has no beginning, center, or end. Ourselves are actually this space, which is supreme consciousness of existence. Due to our own imaginations, space appears as a void place. Instead, if we try to see the truth, space is the only thing which has the special quality to remain in itself, whereas all the universe, galaxies, etc., exist in space. As this ultimate truth is the single self without a second existence, it doesn't have to put in effort to achieve anything. It remains calm and serene because it alone is the truth beyond all attributes.
See, though everything that is in the mind, all thoughts, they are all nothing but the form of the mind only. But these things which has come out of the mind is giving unhappiness to the mind. It is not allowing the mind to remain at peace. That's why you have to withdraw all these thoughts and make the mind quiet. So thus when you reach the highest consciousness, you will see this universe getting withdrawn into the self. Actually nothing had come out at all. Somewhere we had dreamt and we got bewildered and we were stuck. Simply we need to get rid of that one by practicing meditation, by practicing to remain quiet, and thus see how the space is the ultimate truth. If the ultimate truth is all pervaded and absolute, there cannot be anything other than the ultimate truth. So whatever we get to see, it is ultimate truth. It's in a different thing. If we are imagining anything as different from the ultimate truth, that starts from the space only. The word space, our imagination about the space is starting the imagination. And then the things that are in the space, we imagine. Everything is there. We don't imagine anything about the space also. That is ultimate truth.
But you're also saying that even what's imagined is the ultimate truth too. It's kind of like waves on the ocean appear to be individual waves, but they're the ocean.
Actually, the truth is that whatever we have imagined also is ultimate truth. But our imagination is different from the actual truth. That's why we are unhappy. That is the problem here. If we didn't have any imagination, then this thing wouldn't have appeared. When we imagined the thing appeared, we don't remain into one thing. Any one vision, it comes to your mind. Try to keep it in one thing. Try to keep your mind into that vision of that character. Try to keep your mind always happy. No, it won't remain in always happy. Even if it's God's form also, it won't remain happy. All unhappiness comes to the mind and you start accusing God. You are not helping me, I am undergoing all these troubles. And that's how you start fighting with God. Again, unhappiness comes. Just by, if you get seeing the God, if you can be happy, and you have to continue just seeing into God and don't imagine anything about God, then only you will have peace. Then also that form will disappear. You will merge with the ultimate truth.
Nice. Thank you, Baba. Verse 6. When the self is realized, clear vision is unveiled, the illusion ceases, and all unhappiness is dispelled. Your comments. Through austerities of spiritual exercises like meditation and tapas, when one is able to overcome all imaginations of the mind once and for all, regaining the form of pure consciousness, ending illusion, and realizing the self, thus yogis live in their unhappiness with their unhappiness dispelled once and for all. Fortunate are the self-realized.
So there is no more individual imagined self and no more imagination in that individual imagined self. Means the old saying, if there is no bamboo, there is no flute recital. Means the flute recital means somebody troubling you. That person is not there, the trouble will not be there. The trouble in the mind, mind's imagination, mind's unhappiness, everything is there because we are existing as an individual imagined self. If that idea itself disappears, then there is no more unhappiness or happiness. Both loses its significance of this world. So then at peace. Because the I, which earlier I had imagined, is not there at all. Then who can give me unhappiness when I do not exist at all? The trouble is over.
Yeah, it's that thing of becoming aware of the self as yourself rather than a person, a body, and a mind. Baba, what is the? I had a question. The awareness that makes consciousness possible, is that correct, or is it the consciousness that makes awareness possible? Awareness that makes consciousness possible, or the consciousness that makes awareness possible?
Consciousness gives you the awareness. Because awareness has to be from some source. That source is the consciousness. The consciousness that I have told, like mind also, is made up of consciousness and energy. Consciousness means wherever you apply the consciousness, you become aware of that thing. So thus, awareness comes from consciousness.
We use consciousness kind of in, at least I imagine, in two ways. One is, the I am consciousness, and the other as the self, as pure consciousness, beyond imagination, just the Para Brahman. And with the individual self, or the ego, or let's say even before the ego, that just that I exist, the consciousness of existence, there's an awareness that you exist, but there's no thought about it. And yet that you say that with time will merge, and even that disappears. There's only just the Para Brahman, the pure consciousness.
Yeah, what we try to tell here, I am consciousness, that I disappears. Only consciousness exists. That is the awareness.
Okay.
You are aware of consciousness, but no definition about that as the I.
Okay,
So
so
that is before Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then that also subsides, merges. Awareness also merges.
So the consciousness of existence then would be kind of like pure awareness, as
Pure
opposed
awareness.
as
Yeah,
opposed to pure consciousness. And then that merges and becomes pure consciousness.
pure consciousness.
Okay, great. That's great. Okay, verse 7. The whole universe is just an imagination. The self is free and eternal. Knowing this, the wise one is free, behaving as an innocent child. Comments, once fully realized and after becoming a yogi, one would have totally understood that everything is simply an imagination. Nothing is real other than the self itself. A yogi will never act in an ignorant way, showing mental attachment to anything of this universe.
See, one important thing, we simply when we read this sentence, what Ashtavakra telling, the world is simply an imagination. People might be bewildered. How can this be simply an imagination? It is appearing, it is here, it is there. But what we need to understand is this world appears according to your imagination. If there is no imagination, nothing is in your consciousness. If there is an imagination, yeah, this is Earth, this is solar system, this is Mercury, this is Sun, this is galaxy, then such things starts appearing to you. You are recognizing in this way, you have imagined. That's why I tell everything in this universe and all universes is simply imagined terminologies. Nobody really knows what it is. When we don't know, we assume a certain name for our communication. A round thing has appeared, they will call it an exoplanet has appeared, and they will give some number to it in the beginning until they name it properly, so that astronomers can communicate amongst themselves. So they have imagined it to be such and such number. That is all. What that is, don't know. That becomes planet because we have imagined it as planet. Then when that sits into the mind, that firmly gives that the stubborn rajasic dark. This is a planet because I am telling this as planet. We will never accept, our mind's arrogance will never accept that this need not be planet, this may be something else, who knows? I don't know really. I called it planet so that we can communicate with each other. Simply in the same way, actually, I don't know whether that is divine or what else it is. I called it divine so that I can communicate to you. I can give you a clue so that you also achieve that. This is the truth actually. I cannot claim that I know the divinity. I also don't know. Nobody knows actually. Simply we called it divinity for a certain reason, and we gave the clue that your mind's ultimate truth is the divinity. You can merge. If you merge, you obtain supreme peace. So these are the reasons. Otherwise you won't get peace. As long as you stay away mentally in the imagination of the world, you will not get peace. So now choice is yours. You want to accept it as divinity, or you just don't want to call it divinity, just want to keep it quiet. But very often rational people also end up calling in the opposite. They cannot keep quiet. They will tell that God does not exist or God exists. They cannot keep quiet. They want to claim something. They become egoistic. No God exists, and they start thinking that they know everything very well, and they become so egoistic. I have told there is no God. Let them show the God, if God exists. They also don't know what God is. And the one who says that God exists also doesn't know what God is. So such is the funny of imagination. What Ashtavakra says, the universe is simply an imagination, means this is what it is.
So, Baba,
It
we
may
can,
appear, but it is not true as we think.
so we can become the truth and have that pure awareness, but you can't know the truth because it would be just an idea in the mind. And then it's
Until we don't merge, we keep struggling, applying intellectuality to know that truth with a terminology, with a name, with a quality, with this and with that, all the thing. We keep conversing, barking type.
now, Bobby. No, I can going back to the idea that we've built up this storehouse of impressions and beliefs. Going back to I can remember back to about 2 years old, and when you imagine that you didn't know anything yet, you've just been born, you're conscious, but you don't know anything yet. You haven't learned anything. And so you're just looking at the world like a blank page. There's no naming anything. There's no impressions of, this is a toy, this is my bottle, this is my mother. And
Exactly. As you went on hearing, you went on accepting that, oh, mom, oh, this is dad, this is the bottle, this is mine, this is not mine. So you went on taking it. And then that remained throughout the life as a firm reality. We don't know. We never knew that was truth or not. We accepted. Then we talk of intellectuality, wisdom, and all these things. Where is this?
so in a way, Baba, our mental world, we've built our own mental world with our own experiences and judgments. And then we get trapped in it, can't get out of it.
Exactly. That's what Ashtavakra is telling. This universe is simply an imagination. We are trapped in our own imaginations. That's what his liberation means.
Thank you, Baba. Verse 8, knowing with certainty that the self is the ultimate truth, and that both existence and non-existence are just imaginations, what does one who is thus free of desire know, say, or do? Your comments, by becoming aware of the self as the ultimate truth, one loses all imaginations and definitions. A yogi realizes the self is beyond existence and non-existence, just like space appears to you depending on your attitude. You can say a room is void of space or a room is filled with space. Either way, it's simply your attitude. Truth is to be considered beyond this attitude. There is nothing more to desire, know, say, or do. The more you try to define the self, it's like trying to measure space with a measuring tape.
That's it, imagination. So we go on. Like I have told, even a yogi like us, to teach, we have to use the nearest imagination possible to give a clue to what you are supposed to do and what you have to achieve. To achieve that quietness also, I have to use the imagination of quietening. When finally, that's why gurus always tell, this is my opinion, whatever I have told you. Now you do that sadhana, you meditate, and you know the truth to yourself would be better.
Baba, what would you say to a guru that says, I'm going to give you self-realization?
Don't believe.
I think I've
Nobody
mentioned
can give
this.
that one.
I think I've mentioned this before, but when I first met you, 21 years ago or whenever it was, that was one thing you said. If some guru tells you they're going to give you self-realization, you said, run as fast as you can. And then you went on to explain it. They can, help you discover it, but they can't give it to you. Okay, last verse, Baba, verse number 9 for today. Knowing for certain everything is only the self, the imaginations of I am this and I am not this have all ceased for that yogi who has become silent. And this is the commentary, by realizing the self and becoming aware that it's all-pervasive and the ultimate truth, I am this and I am not this, all such thoughts and imaginations would have disappeared once and for all from the mind. The mind would have merged into the self as pure consciousness. A yogi realizes that I is nothing but the ultimate truth of the self. Baba, could you explain that last? A yogi realizes that I is nothing but the ultimate truth of the self.
What realizes is the I is not the I that I was thinking earlier. This I is that I, that is the ultimate truth. Thus, you lose that ego and all imagination, that the individual imagine self and all ideas gets dropped.
So it's that pure awareness or consciousness of existence, from which
Yeah.
from where the I arises.
See, when we think the I is not the I was thinking, this I is that I, then when I am not there at all, that I also gets dropped. The I simply arose just like that as an imagination.
Yeah.
Here in the body, you see, this we talk of I also is born out of imagination. Actually, the I also is not there. So that's why some teachers had to give who am I is a wonderful thing, is a real thing. Because everybody think of I only first. So that's why who is that I think? That inquire, observe, then you will know what the truth is. That you will know the truth that this I is not the I at all. That idea also gets dropped.
So, Baba, basically, you have that thought, "Who am I?" and then you let go of that, and you're kind of going into just observing, watching, kind of what we do with them.
It's like I want to sleep, and you let go that idea, you fall asleep.
Right. Okay, beautiful. Baba, would you like to take any questions today?
Few questions we can take for 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
Pranam Babaji. Babaji, asking a very core, very basic question. In meditation, I've encountered two paths of watching. One is when we are trying to ignore the thoughts or imagination and just bringing it to the center. And second is just watching the thought that it could dissolve by itself. Is there a difference, or it's something I'm just complicating it?
Yeah, actually there is no difference, but because by trying to analyze, one makes it a bit complicated one. It is the same thought is born out of that I which is watching by that mind. But here the mind tries to analyze its own imagination. The thing already that which is in itself, it tries to analyze and thus creates another thought. Instead, if you just watch, that thought is there in you, but you just watch, you don't analyze, thus you will not create any further thought. Instead, you will make that thought also to dissolve, disappear.
So Babaji, the technology is more about identifying you as, not identifying, just take the role of watcher, observer.
Yeah, and thus you go on analyzing and get involved into increasing the thoughts. Instead, just keep quiet.
So Babaji, is ignorance part of this, like ignoring a thought? Is that possible?
When you keep quiet, you are ignoring actually. You don't have to imagine that, let me ignore. No need. Just become quiet and watch. You are automatically ignoring that.
Got it. Thank you, Babaji.
Hello, Babaji.
Yeah.
I have two questions. in a previous satsang, you mentioned that when you first touched the feet of Shivabalayogi, when he was leaving in the car, your sense of I disappeared. The question related to this is, does this removal of the I by itself remove all related emotions and beliefs? And can you please elaborate on that experience? And also, can you remove this sense of I from us if we touch the feet of a realized yogi, or is that not how it works?
No, simply by touching a realized yogi, it will not work. A receiver and broadcast both has to be. Means I had fallen in love with him naturally. Thus, all my mind was on him. So that's what I tried to tell. When I touched, the I had gone with him, finished. So I had totally surrendered. I had surrendered. So from then onwards, he was my all in all. Just I had no other imagination to live in any other way. He was my thing. That's what I expressed to my mother also. I have found him, send me, I will just go, I will not regret. Whatever comes, that's fine to me. Like that, the I had gone. So there was no fear of I losing or gaining anything.
So that means you're basically the I of the ego disappeared at that time forever, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. The next question, Babaji, my last question is, can you please talk about intention, how to harness and sustain intention, and whether it is related to concentration and devotion?
Yes. Before that concentration and devotion, an intention increases or comes when you understand the need of it. Just like you all understand you need food to sustain your body, then the intention comes that you need to earn your food, your livelihood. Then you devote time, you become devoted to earn your livelihood, that becomes priority. Like that, it's born out of it. Intention comes when you understand the needy, you understand that you need to know yourself, you need to have that supreme peace. Like this, when you understand, then the intention that you need to have it comes, and then the earning, it grows. Thus, you become devoted. Like if you are attending the Zoom, means you are devoted to this cause. Like that, the devotion or concentration, everything comes one after another.
Okay. Thank you, Babaji.
Peace, Baba.
Yeah.
I have the question I have is about effects after the process of going through this meditation daily on a daily basis. They're like, I'll give an example. You struggle sometimes in your meditation, to quiet that mind, and then at some point you get to a point where it there's that stillness. And also, when I'm saying about the effect, does that sometimes translate in your daily life after meditation, before meditation? Say, for instance, like I find myself really being quiet in my life. Like I don't have a lot to say. I tend to just stay in that quietness. And the other aspect of sometimes I'll listen to you in conversation like we're having now, and sometimes it seems like I go inward. My eyes close sometimes automatically, and it seems like I just get drawn within myself just on the effect of hearing you speak. So this is all about effects of this
Yeah.
process.
Very good experience. Actually, this is what needs to happen. This needs to naturally remain, effortlessly remain. If you practice more and more, it is coming. So you continue the same quietening, same watching, and one day you should be able to have it effortlessly at all times. It must not go away even for a moment. So that is the achievement. That's all you need to achieve.
Thank you, Baba.
Yes, Babaji. Namaste. Pranam.
Yes,
Babaji, I
yes,
have two
please.
questions. What bothers me or worries me is the amount of trash around that we generate, like so much landfills and the plastics or the wastage, is there any solution to it? I mean, a spiritual solution. I know it's all material, but I I wonder how we can bring a solution to that.
If it is in your area, you have to try to create awareness to others also, not to throw like that the plastic and trash like that. It needs to be cleaned properly. So, whatever is possible, only you have to do. Spiritual solution, you meditate and find your satisfaction. Whatever you can do, you do it and then remain satisfied. More than that, you cannot worry. Simply by worrying, you cannot help to clean the trash also. You cannot help anyone. You can try to talk to other people also how necessary it is to keep the area clean and clean these trashes, plastics and all these things, how it can be harmful to animals when they eat up. These things you can talk when you find friends or people around you. That is all you can do, and then try to clean it up, whatever is possible for you.
Okay, okay, sir. One last question. When I try to be mindful in my day to day, I see I forget what I'm doing. So I'm not able to do both at the same time. So they say when you're doing something, be in awareness, but when I'm in awareness, I'm forgetting what I should be doing. So how does
So
that
you
work
should
here?
concentrate on the work. You think that I have to do this thing, and then concentrate on the work. Then you can automatically go on doing it. You won't forget. If you practice more meditation, memory power will become intact. That forgetfulness you can overcome by practicing meditation. You will not absorb any imprints, but you will remember what you have to do. Automatically, one after another, you will go on doing. You don't have to think to remember. That will come. This is what I have to do mean. You will not think, but you will go on doing and you will not forget. By practice has to happen.
Okay. Thank you, Babaji.
Pranam, Babaji. Around desires, it's clear to me around material things, I can see where that does not bring happiness. But then I'll see around relationships, research that says how important connection with other people is. And then I get confused and I feel like I do need that kind of thing. So it gets a little foggy when we get to that kind of desiring or needing.
You can have any relationship, any friendship, anything, mingle with people. Simply don't allow it to play on your mind. The mind can remain at peace. Simply outside whatever is needed for your life, livelihood, or any such thing that is needed, you can carry on. That will not affect your mind when you practice meditation. It will not absorb the imprints and it will not be playing on the mind all the time. Because if the mind plays, it plays in duality. What if the friendship goes on? What if it doesn't go on? What happens this? What happens that? That can give you tense moments unnecessarily. Other than that, mingling with people is no problem. You can meet relatives, you have relationships, continue, is no problem.
And not mingling with people is also no problem.
That's no problem. It suits you if it suits you. It is your choice and according to your nature. To some people, not mingling with people may suitable. They love solitude, quietness on their own. That is fine. There is no need.
Thank you.
You
Babaji,
take this question. Yeah.
I have a question. I grew up I say grew up the last 35 years in a lineage where the meditation techniques like Hong Sa, it has a lot more objects, so to speak, or drawing energy through the chakras up to the point between the eyebrows, different techniques that are a lot more complicated than what you teach. I was wondering if you could give me some perspective.
Yeah, you see, things like chakras and other things, the ancient teachers sometimes symbolically might have used some terminology to explain a certain thing. Like this Agna Chakra means the circle of the commanding. That means you have to try to bring the mind here. When mind 100% comes here, automatically you become the master of your mind. Till then, the mind makes you to dance to its tunes. So that's why symbolically they would have told, okay, this is the commanding circle. If you bring the mind over here, then what happens? The mind gets detached from the brain and the seeker feels as if it's here. Like it is thousand petals lotus, Sahasrara Kamala, they call it as this chakra. There is no such thousand petal lotus is there. Symbolically, when the mind has come here, you feel you are here. That means your mind is totally purified, blossomed like a thousand petals lotus. It is ready to go to samadhi. So you can let go of all these terminologies, which is not necessary, simply a knowledge which will play and make it more complicated, more complicated. Simply you meditate, the rest of the things will happen automatically. The mind has to be purified. That is the one important thing you need to understand. The rest will all be perfectly all right. Don't have to bother about any terminology. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. We had a very good session. Thank you, Agastya.
Thank you, Baba.
We'll go to the gallery to say bye-bye to everyone.